One of the things we all share is time. And if you look after a home, you realize that time is one of your most precious resources. And the way that we spend our time not only shapes our homes, but the lives that are within them as well. So today I want to talk about how we can intentionally pour joy and love and purpose into our homes. So let's settle in with a cup of tea like old friends and talk about it. They say you can't pour from an empty cup, and if you're a homemaker, I feel that sometimes we forget this. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it's essential. Research from the American Psychological Association discovered that when we take care of ourselves, it reduces stress and boosts our resilience. And this isn't just about bubble baths, vacations, and spa days, although those things are lovely. It's about nurturing your mind, your body, and your soul. It could be a morning walk, it could be time spent in prayer or doing devotions, or it could just be 20 minutes with a hot cup of coffee in silence. One thing I know for sure is that if you don't pick a time to rest and restore yourself, your body will pick it for you, and that will negatively impact not only you, but everyone around you as well. Imagine a home where the caretaker, in other words, the one setting the tone, is frazzled and depleted. And now imagine a home where that same person is calm, content, and energized. It makes all the difference in the world because that energy then ripples outward and creates a wonderful atmosphere of peace. So taking care of yourself first is an incredibly vital step in taking care of your home. We often overlook the importance of how we spend our time and the impact it has, because the things that we do today create the memories that others have of us tomorrow. The thing about life is that it doesn't come with an engraved invitation that says, now's the time to start living meaningfully. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, today's the day to start creating memories that your loved ones will cherish forever. If you think about it, the meals that we cook, the stories we tell, the laughter we share, even folding laundry with music in the background, these are the stories that our loved ones carry with them. They remember the smell of your Sunday sauce and the warmth of your hugs. This is the legacy that you leave behind. If we're not intentional with the way we spend our time, we risk letting it slip by in ways that don't really matter. And life isn't going to wait for you to be ready. It's happening right now in the midst of all the chaos and the to-do list and the mess. So why not choose to fill it with love and purpose and intention and making memories that will live on far after us? Routines often get a bad rap because a lot of people think they're just mundane and boring, but I like to think of them as the heartbeat of a home. Good routines provide structure, predictability, and a sense of calm amidst the chaos of life. Research from Duke University discovered that creating routines reduced decision fatigue and created lasting habits. Nearly 40% of our day consists of daily habits. So these are things that deserve attention because they're powerful. Our daily habits is what shapes our life. Imagine a morning routine where you've got your coffee ready to go, you've got your clothes laid out, you know what you're going to be doing that day, and it makes the day start with a sense of calm and order. And predictability like this doesn't just simplify life, it actually helps anchor us. And routines don't have to be rigid schedules. They can just be things that create simple rhythms of life. Things like a Sunday evening walk or a Friday pizza and movie night, or even just turning off all the screens during dinner. These are just simple habits that help create a framework for a more meaningful life. A truly beautiful home isn't perfect, it's real. And I think a lot of us find perfection very intimidating, but imperfection is inviting, it's warm. A study from the University of Texas discovered that people who embrace imperfection are actually happier and more resilient. And if you have the kind of home where there's a laundry basket sitting in the corner, or maybe there's some flour sprinkled on the counter from the morning's cookies, that's okay, because that's a home that's filled with life, and it's the kind of home that most people want to return to. Years ago, I went to a dinner party at a friend's house, and she was so nervous because she had a wobbly table and none of her plates matched. She was so worried about all these details that didn't measure up in her mind, but all of us as her guests, all we remembered was this great fun time filled with warmth and hospitality. So let go of the pressure to have everything just right, because the perfect home isn't the one that's flawless. It's the one that feels like a warm hug. Homemaking also evolves with the seasons of life, and each stage has its own challenges and joys. In the beginning, you might have the hustle of raising small children, and then later you have the quiet of an empty nest. And each season has its own beauty. In one season, you're building traditions. In another, you're savoring memories and doing new things. One retired couple we know turned their empty nest into this wonderful social haven for their friends and neighbors. They host book clubs, they do walking groups, potlucks, game nights. It's just a lot of fun, and it proves that homemaking is a lifelong journey filled with lots of new adventures. So embrace each season with gratitude, no matter what stage you're in. Now, a lot of you know by now that this channel is very food forward, and I talk a lot about cooking meals and sharing meals and encouraging people to cook at home. And that's because growing up in an Italian household, meals were never just about food, but a way of feeding the soul as well. There's a reason that studies show that families who eat together are happier and more connected. And also children who eat regularly with their families tend to do better as well. I have a lot of really great memories of meal times growing up in my Italian family. And imagine a long wooden table with bowls of pasta being passed around. And sometimes it was noisy and chaotic and people talking over each other, but you would hear the clinking of drinking glasses and laughter filling the air. And that is the magic of a shared meal. And if the conversation gets a little heated, because let's be honest, in Italian families it usually does, just pass more bread. Bread solves everything. So whether you're serving a 5-course meal or you're just having some leftover soup and bread, it's much less about what's on the table and more about who's around it. In Italy, we have a saying that goes, "L'amore si vede nei piccoli gesti." In other words, love is seen through small gestures. Folding somebody's sweater just right, or making their coffee exactly the way they like it, or preparing a meal with care. Psychologists call this expressive love, and it is one of the most profound ways that we can connect with others. As a kid, I remember my mom standing over the stove stirring her ragu that she would make, and it wasn't because she had to, it was because she knew that this was something that was going to make her family feel loved and cared for. And at the end of the day, homemaking isn't about those grand gestures. It's about those small acts of care that say, I see you, you matter. And that's a language everyone can understand. Now, of course, homemaking isn't about outdated stereotypes or perfection. It's about love and intention, where the smallest acts can create some of the greatest legacies. I hope the things that we discussed today inspired you to continue on this beautiful journey with joy. I want to thank you so much for sharing a bit of your day with me. Many blessings to you and your families, and we'll catch you in the next one.